set it free. Lay it down on the altar of love. I was walking through a season of dark and lonely change, when the world was on my shoulders and my faith was rearranged. I knew I'd never be given more than I could bear, and Spirit reassured me there was an answer to my prayer. If I lay it down, set it free, let my heart rest and let it be. Lay it down, set it free, lay it down on the altar of love. So every single moment I am left with the choice to stay in separation or to listen to the voice that beckons me to open and be grateful every day. It gently reminds me there will be another way. If I lay it down, set it free, let my heart rest and let it be. Lay it down, set it free, lay it down on the altar of love. Lay it down, set it free, let my heart rest and let it be. Lay it down, set it free, lay it down on the altar of love. Lay it down on the altar of love. Lay it down on the altar. Lay it down. Are you ready to lay it down? You're ready to set it free, whatever it is, yeah. We're gonna lay it down on the altar of love. That's what we gotta do sometimes. Thank you. Hi, everybody. I'm Claudia Carawan. I'm so glad to welcome you to the beautiful Sunday, a nice autumn Sunday at Unity of Bon Air. I want to remind you, if you have a cell phone in the house, please make it quiet and say hi to our friends online. We love you. And without further ado, we'll affirm what we know to be true. God is good and all is well. What a wonderful morning, beyond compare. I feel God's loving presence everywhere. I am filled with joy profound in a world where many miracles abound. In the garden of my soul, I am happy, healed, and whole. I know that God is good and all is well. In the garden of my soul, I am happy, healed, and whole. I know that God is good and all is well. Please be seated.
Good morning. It's on. Well, welcome to Unity of Bon Air, where we live and express unconditional love and acceptance and grow together in peace and prosperity. My name is Susan Green, And here at Unity, I am a prayer chaplain and the coordinator of prayer chaplains. I also am one of the leaders for Fellowship Coffee. I help out in the office every now and then. So just a couple of things here and there, and it's a joy to do. Whether this is your first time or your 100th or 1,000th time here at Unity, we are grateful for your presence and your participation as we share this special time together. We have come together as part of love's divine purpose that calls each of us forth to celebrate the connection that we all share through the holy presence that's within us, that's all around us, that we call God. And it's in this spirit of unity and community that we unfold in light and love all spiritual and religious gatherings and all people everywhere. Now, we especially welcome any of you who are visiting with us for the first time, and we have a visitor welcome packet. If you're here for the first time and would just raise your hand, one of our ushers will give that to you. Here we go. We have some visitors right there on the front. Anyone else? Well, we're glad you're here, and anyone also visiting us for the first time online on YouTube, we welcome you as well. Those of you here, we hope you'll join us in Fellowship Coffee afterwards. And if you're online for the first time, be sure to visit our website, which is unitybonair.org, to learn more about us and all the things happening here. And before we go any further, I want to acknowledge all of the wonderful people that it takes to make this service happen on Sunday morning, starting at the front door, the people that greeted you, the bookstore team of Marcy and Safari, and our Fellowship Coffee volunteers, and our music team, our tech team in the back, all of these people, and we want to give them our unity blessing. So together, we love you, we bless you, we appreciate you, and we behold the Christ you are, and we see you doing amazing things. Perfect. And now I'll invite up Melody, our Youth and Family Ministries leader, to take it from here.
Good morning, everyone, and welcome. Today, I'm lucky to have Amy Corsetti helping me with the young ones today. And so, can I have all of my friends, all of the young children that want to come and participate in our morning practice, come on up and join us? Thank you. All right, so if we can get our blessing for our children, and then we'll head over to the youth wing. So, children, we love you, we bless you, we appreciate you, and we behold the Christ you are, and we see you doing amazing things.
As the light, we are walking as the light of God. As the light, 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 as the light of God.
All right. So as part of our rotating features, on the second Sunday of the month, we spotlight one of our Love in Action groups. And very timely, today we are spotlighting Christmas Mother 2022. This year we are supporting 3 families with children and 2 seniors, so 5 families all together. The mission of the Chesterfield Colonial Heights Christmas Mother program is to ensure that no family is without food, no child is without new toys, books, or clothing, and no child or elder is forgotten as we celebrate the holidays in our community. So there are sign-up sheets out there. There's something for everyone. You can sign up to shop, and I know that we need shoppers now to get this done. The turnaround time is pretty short. It's not a December thing. It's wrap up in November thing, literally wrap up as well. So we need people that are gift wrappers. We feed you pizza, so you have the energy to wrap gifts. And we also need you to sign up for that as well. So please don't miss those clipboards out there on the table. Also, of course, you can make donations that will go towards the purchases we make for the Christmas Mother families. And you can do that in all the ways you're familiar with: a cash, a check, online, any of those ways. If you go online, just at the Give Now button, look for Christmas Mother and donate there. And we want to, she couldn't be here this morning or she'd be telling you about this, but we really want to appreciate again Rhonda Young, who is once again doing this. Rhonda's been coordinating this for a long time, and we're very grateful for that. All right, so I think now we have a congregational song.
Yes, we do. We invite everybody to stand up. We're going to learn to let go like the autumn leaves, right? And we're going to sing a song from Ricky Byers, I Release and I Let Go. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. There was a time in my life I thought I had to do it all for myself. Didn't know the grace of God was sufficient. Didn't know the love of God was at hand. But now I can say, if you are discouraged, struggling just to make it through another day, you gotta let it go, let it all go. And this is what you have to say. Here we go. I release and I let go. I let the Spirit run my life, and my heart is open wide. Yes, I'm only here for God. No more struggle, no more strife. With my faith I see the light. I am free in the Spirit. Yes, I'm only here for God. I release and I let go. I let the Spirit run my life, and my heart is open wide. Yes, I'm only here for God. No more struggle, no more strife. With my faith I see the light. I am free, Spirit. Yes, I'm only, one more time, here we go. I release and I let go. I let the Spirit run my life, and my heart is open wide. Yes, I'm only here for God. No more struggle, no more strife. With my faith I see the light. I am free in the Spirit. Yes, I'm only here for God. I am free in the Spirit. Yes, I'm only here for God.
You may be seated. So let's talk about your opportunities for transformation. So don't forget, today is the last day, I believe, to have your digital photo taken for our directory, our digital directory. And Becky here, raise your hand, Becky, is here to take your picture. So please see her after the service to get that done. You've noticed the boxes and the cans and all the donations in the hallway we are collecting for the Chesterfield County Food Bank throughout this month. So please bring your donations, and remember, no glass containers. And thank you for all of your donations. Wednesdays, as usual, we have chair yoga with Barbie, followed by the midweek meditation, which is at noon, and then a potluck after that. Also that day at 2, I believe, is a garden day, and so all of you can show up to help out in the gardens. Now, there are 2 opportunities next Saturday for you to be in sacred service. One of those is here in our gardens to help put Christmas lights out in the gardens. And so come at 9 in the morning and be prepared to create a beautiful masterpiece out there with the garden team. The other opportunity is at Restoration Fellowship Church. They have an amazing food program there, and they're seeking volunteers there also next Saturday morning to be there at 9:30 and help hand out food, and it's over at 12:30 or when the food has all been distributed. Each Sunday at 9, we have spiritual study group, and of course our 11 o'clock service. Next Sunday, our service with Reverend Patty also will include our board members serving in multiple capacities and roles during the service. And they are celebrating sacred service, celebrating us, the community, to say thank you to everyone. So we hope you'll be here next week. And we do have a Thanksgiving Eve service coming up with Reverend Patty and Andrew Horn, Wednesday, November 23rd. And finally, on Thanksgiving Day, if you don't have some other plans and you'd like to enjoy a non-traditional meal and fellowship, there's a sign up also in the hall for a gathering at the Full Key Chinese restaurant. So that's right outside as well. So I think that is it. To keep up with all of these amazing things and more that I probably haven't mentioned, just go to our website, sign up for the e-news, and keep up with all of those things that way. And next, the Daily Word. This is a publication of Unity, and we have it in the bookstore as well as you can get it digitally online. Today, the word is guidance. When I am pondering a perplexing question or I need to make an important choice, I reach beyond human reasoning to the limitless wisdom of divine mind, never further away than my next thought. After clarifying my question and considering my available options, I release the situation, focusing instead on the divine presence within. I affirm, I am using divine wisdom to show me the way. In prayerful silence, peace envelops me. As I conclude my prayer time and resume my activities, I may experience a flash of insight or a more gradual understanding. However it happens, I trust my next steps will become clear to me. Confident in my divine guidance, I move forward with calm assurance. The scripture passage is from Matthew chapter 6, verse 33. But strive first for the kingdom of God and his righteousness, and all these things will be given to you as well. So we have an affirmation, which I'll share once and ask you to repeat twice like you mean it. I use divine wisdom to find my way. Together. I use divine wisdom to find my way. I use divine wisdom to find my way. And so it is. And now I'd like to welcome up Reverend Patty.
So I'm back, yay. So great to be with all of you. So I'm wearing a mask today. I do not feel sick, but my body has some interesting things going on. So in case something is trying to jump on me, I'm not going to share it with you all, at least that part. So instead of a joke today, I want to tell you what I saw on Facebook yesterday. This is just so creative. So this woman decides she wants to surprise her boyfriend and ask him if he will marry her while they're on an airplane flight. So you see this video going, and he's sitting in the chair, aisle chair, and she's putting on a dress, and then puts both her feet on the chair arms and climbs up into the overhead bin above him. He's oblivious to all of this. Not sure how that's possible, but then she has a sign that says, "Will you marry me?" And she has at least half a dozen roses. So she starts by taking the roses and just like touching his head with them. And he's reaching up and going, but he doesn't catch a rose or anything. So then she takes the sign and like tries to tap him on the head with it. And again, he just kind of goes like that. So then she resorts to dropping rose petals down on him. And he thinks a man sitting behind him is throwing rose petals at him. And he's going, giving him the evil eye. And then more rose petals. So he finally rings the stewardess and he goes, "Will you tell this guy to quit throwing rose petals at me?" And then the bride-to-be opens the little door and shows the sign and everything. And the waitress goes, or the stewardess. And so she says, "Well, it looks like everything's okay." So then here comes some more rose petals. The guy is just beyond himself. So he puts his hoodie up and covers his head and then keeps looking back at this guy. And then she doesn't know what else to do. So she hands him the guy behind all the flowers. And the guy puts all the flowers around his neck, on the arm of the chair. This guy's decided he's going unconscious. So he's acting like he's going to sleep. Then he puts the sign, "Will you marry me?" on the guy's chest. And so I forget what makes him come to, but he comes to and he looks at the sign and he stands up and looks at the guy behind him and goes, "What the heck?" And the guy goes, "Not me, it's not me, man, you maybe ought to look up." So he looks up and there's the fiance all stashed in the compartment with her wedding dress on, and he gives her a big kiss, and it's the end of the story. But I don't know how you get agile enough to climb up to one of those things in the first place, but what a great, surprising, and wonderful way. And so in my talk, I'm going to refer back to this. We're so looking for the what's wrong with life, and here is this most wonderful thing about happened to him, and all he can do is turn around and give this guy the evil eye. So I thought it was a great story. So let's take a nice breath. Just allow ourselves to be in this moment. And just release any of those thoughts about all the stuff you have to do this afternoon. Just be present right here. With each breath, we feel a deeper sense of the peace that is the truth of us. A deeper sense of the love that is the truth of us. We know that we have all been called, whether online or here in person, together today to share the expectation that Spirit is going to speak to us. That this is going to be a growth opportunity, a transformation opportunity, an opportunity to celebrate and continue to remember there is only love. Into all this beautiful space we've created now, we bring all the names in our prayer box. We bring those in our community who are continuing to heal, and we celebrate that Captain Tom is with us this morning with his new knee. We hold Anne and Sherry, and with deep gratitude, we hold Frank and Joanne. Frank just moved to a new care facility that is just going to be an out-of-this-world experience for him in terms of care and comfort and compassion. And anyone that you would like to bring into this circle of divine love and light, you might say that name out loud or silently. see the light and the power of the Christ moving in each of these people and each of these circumstances. And we are filled with gratitude that the end of the story is always, always love. So we celebrate this truth and we close with our usual 3 sentences together of I am grateful. Please join with me. I am grateful. I am grateful. I am grateful. And is our statement almost up there? Let us read what we believe together. There is only one presence and one power active in the universe and in my life. God, the omnipotent good. Then I wanted to share this. Carol is over there, this beautiful musician. Is Carol the right name? Cindy. I knew I had C right. I always have 2 names for people around here. We're going to celebrate the fact that Cindy is going to be singing in the fellowship hall after service, giving us a live jazz performance very softly so we can eat and enjoy one another together. So thank you for being willing to do that for us.
Thank you. I wanted to add on, this is Cindy Watts, who's a local jazz performer. She's been here before, and we're so glad to have her again. Little extra information. Cindy is a long-time university-level educator, teaching at VCU and University of Richmond, climate and health issues. Okay, I got that right. And she's going to sing a beautiful song with a message for all of us right now. And this song was written by Charlie Chaplin.
Smile though your heart is aching. Smile even though it's breaking. When there are clouds in the sky, you'll get by if you smile through your fear and sorrow. Smile and maybe tomorrow you'll see the sun come shining through for you. Light up your face with gladness. Hide every trace of sadness. Although a tear may be ever so near, that's the time you just keep on trying. Smile, what's the use of crying? You'll find that life is still worthwhile if you just smile. That's the time you must keep on trying. Smile, what's the use of crying? You'll find that life is still worthwhile if you just smile.
Thank you. So you can see what a treat we're going to be in for later. So today we're going to revisit the idea of change and releasing. So I said, be like the leaves, right? In the spring, the leaves, they come out, these delicate little spring green, wonderful things, and then they grow to their full size. And then when we get to this time of year, they get the code from the sun that they're supposed to turn colors, and they turn their colors and go out on an incredible, beautiful journey of dancing down to the ground. And then they become fodder for the next year's growth. Such a beautiful way to think about what it is to release. But the thing about change is, it's what we want everyone else to do. Or the circumstances in our lives to do. The guy in front of me to drive faster, my partner to be nicer, my body part to quit hurting, my coworkers to do what they said they would do, my doctor to call me back. The list could go on and on. Here at Unity, we know some spiritual principles, and one of them is whatever you put your energy into, you get more of that back. So if we are thinking, this is terrible, we get more terrible stuff. What we resist persists. So I'm going to tell a couple powerful stories about release and forgiveness and lead you in a meditation that I learned from Tara Brach to give you a feel for the truth of these teachings. And all of these stories are amazingly true stories. So this first one is about a priest who has grown older and gotten kind of critical and jaded. And he hears tell of a woman in his community who talks to Jesus, and Jesus talks back to her. And people from all around are going to see her and taking their concerns. And so he says, sounds like a fraud to me, because this is not much part of his life anymore. He's been filled with doubt and fear. And so he decides to go see her, and he says, well, I hear that you're talking to Jesus, and Jesus talking back. And she says, yes, this is so. And he says, well, next time you talk, will you ask him what was the thing I did during seminary of which I had to ask forgiveness? And she said, all right, come back in about a week. So he's leaving feeling so self-righteous that he's going to undo this fraud. And so he comes back in a week, and he goes, did you talk? And she said, yes, I did. He said, well, what did he say? And she said, he said, I forgot. Well, what I love about this story is so many of us in here were raised in traditional settings where this image and this feeling tone for God was something akin to Santa Claus. You've got a good list and a bad list, and you don't want to get on the bad list, and, is there forgiveness, and all these kind of questions. But what we believe is that God is not a being. God is this beingness of the love energy. And we don't have to ask God for forgiveness. What really is needed is that we have need to forgive ourselves and another, and to see the truth of our being, and that the truth of our being is the same as the truth of our Creator's being. Of course, in miracles, lichens are holding judgments to being a guard in prison. And as long as we must sit at the door of the cell, making sure that person stays inside, we have to stay in the prison too. So it's we who keep ourselves bound by our fear and our judgments. So when we release others or when we forgive ourselves, we release ourselves. When I was attending Ed's wonderful class the other week, there's a audio clip you listen to, and the teacher told this story about being with a therapist who asked him what would he do if he was stopped at a stoplight and somebody threw in all kinds of nasty, stinky garbage in his back seat, aside from wanting to yell at the person and maybe give him a finger or something. And he said, well, I would pull the car over and get all that nasty, stinky stuff out. Which makes good sense, right? And it's easy for us to get this in the form of material things. But we seem to be so created that when it comes to us carrying around garbage in our minds, we don't exactly get it. We think, well, we'll just carry this resentment, this anger, this grievance a little while longer, while all it is doing is blocking our realizing the abundant life that love offers us. Probably everyone here has a story about a big hurt. Their heart was hurt, their finances were hurt, their trust was destroyed, something came up with one's body that changed their life, or their career took a hard turn. So just how are we supposed to move past these biggies? Well, all it takes is a tiny bit of willingness to be willing to see it differently. And the Course instructs us to say to Spirit, I'm willing to see this differently. Help me. Alan Cohen tells this story on himself, and I have lived this story out multiple times in my life. It's a terribly small grievance, but they all work the same way. So he was in the line at the speed checkout at the grocery store, and he had 2 items, and it was like a 12-item limit, and there was the person in front of him with this basket with lots and lots of stuff in. So he's, starting to feel self-righteous about his little 2 items and way over 12 items in there. So he starts, because while he's waiting, what else is there to do but count exactly how wrong she is. So he starts counting the items. So he gets past 12. By the minute, he's getting more furious and more furious. And then the sentence from Course in Miracles comes to him. He's a teacher and a leader in this. Do you want to be right or do you want to be happy? He thinks, I'm really not happy right in this moment. So then he decides to step back, remove the image of her as the enemy, and send her loving kindness, and find himself getting back to a place of peace where he can be happy. And almost instantaneously, when he does this, she turns to him and says, oh, you just have a couple things. Would you like to get in front of me? We have these things happen all the time that show us our thoughts truly are creating what is happening in our lives. But a far more impressive story is one about a woman named Caroline who's a massage therapist. And she works in a hospital, and she's been given a patient that has cancer and has been told she only has a few weeks to live. So Carolyn went in the room and met her, and as she started to work on her, she asked about her life. Now, Carolyn believes there's a connection between cancer and resentment. So she asked this woman, is there anyone in your life that you're still holding a grudge against? And the woman starts talking, and she said, well, my sister and I, we haven't talked in over 20 years. There was something that happened at a wedding 20 years ago. And she really didn't want to be mad at her sister. She actually loved her sister, but she couldn't get rid of the hurt. Soon the client's voice became shaky and the tears started coming because she remembered that place where what she had for her sister was really love. So then she moved to sobbing heavily. And Carolyn just was with her and let her express all this pent-up stuff. And after a while, the crying stopped. And before you knew it, and Carolyn was still in the room, an x-ray technician came to take her to x-rays. And so they said goodbye, and the client said, "Thank you so much for your caring and your compassion." So the next week, several days later, she was on the same floor, and she thought, well, I'll just pop in and go see what that client is up to. She walks in the room. The client is up, dressed. She has her makeup on. She's packing her suitcase. And Carolyn says, well, what's going on here? And the client says, well, it's like a miracle. They took these x-rays, and it showed no sign of cancer at all in my body, whereas last week it was riddled with cancer. This is the power of turning our attention into the love within versus the hurt within us. We release the hurt, and all that's left is the light of Christ. So now I'm moving, so that's really a piece on forgiveness and releasing. So now I'm moving on to something that is a daily issue of release. So another story. 2 monks heard that if they got to the top of the mountain before sunrise, they would meet the Buddha. Well, excitedly, they set off very early in the morning in the dark, and they both got halfway up, and one fell and broke his leg. So the other had to decide, was he going to leave him there, get all the way up the mountain, meet the Buddha, come back down and help him, or was he going to stay there and help him and tend to that? So he decided, stay there, help him, tend to that. But here's the surprise thing that happened. In his being completely open to having open-heartedness about his friend, he got to the top of the mountain. There was the consciousness of the Buddha, or what we would call the consciousness of the Christ. There was love right there in that moment. The aliveness and the presence, that sense of the divine presence right here and right now. So the spiritual path is to let go of any thoughts or habits or attitudes that block us from being home in each moment, being home in the presence and power of love. The gift of letting go allows us to be on the top of the mountain in divine awareness. So we have these minds that are very busy, along with our ego, spinning stories and ultimately spinning fear and separation. Over and over, all day long, we go to the spot of judgment. This is bad, that person is bad. Am I wrong? Maybe I'm wrong. Or what is wrong with me? This circumstance is unacceptable. We think life should be different. All day long this happens. I catch myself, sometimes I don't, in this just winding up of judgments. There's a story of a man who's found the love of his life, and he tells his mom, I'm going to be three women to the house, and I want you to guess which one is my beloved. So he comes in, within moments, the mother points to one, and she says, that one. And he's really touched, and he goes, wow, Mom, how did you know? And she goes, the minute I saw her, I hated her. There's a part of us that is geared toward toward looking at the thing in this moment that is the thing that's wrong, right? All of us do that. she was clearly in resistance, right? And all of us spend a lot of time in resistance. So I'm inviting us to seeing this as an opportunity for release, to catch ourselves moving in to fear and judgment, and to be able to do that magic P word, pause. What is happening is that we get into an argument with reality, and ego cannot win that argument. It's raining and you planned an outdoor event. You can change your plans to something indoors. You can decide to use umbrellas, or you can stomp around mad. The rain is not going to care, but we're going to be the one that experiences the consequences of what we're choosing. We want to be in control, and yet we can allow the day to be the gift, a gift. We can be open to the unfolding. We can be aware of the divine presence in this moment. Because letting go really is letting go of constricting or contracting. So I imagine you've heard about these monkey traps. They had coconuts where they drilled a hole big enough for an empty monkey hand to get in, but not big enough, and they put sweet rice in it. But it wasn't big enough for the hand with the rice to get out, and then they tethered them to a stake in the ground. And nothing was holding the monkey there except the monkey's unwillingness to unclench his fist, right? So, the monkeys have nothing on us. We can grab hold and keep something in consciousness for decades. So let's do an exercise. I'm going to invite you to take your hand, put it in a fist, and squeeze it tightly. And now a little bit tighter. Now hold it. Hold it, squeezing tightly. Now, how is that feeling? Notice it's a little bit tiring, right? And while we're doing this, we're certainly not noticing our breathing. And when we're busy focusing, okay, I gotta keep it tight, can't notice anything else. We miss the other goodies going on, like the man in the airplane. He missed the goodie of this woman wanting to ask him to commit to loving him. He was tied up and wondering why some guy behind him was throwing rose petals. So we get okay, now I want you to take and release it gently. How does that feel? Right? It feels better. It's like relief. Somehow our attention widens. This is the gift of release. To be able to let go of control and of judging. To be willing to see things differently. As I mentioned, well, I think I forgot to say this, but I was going to say, change always comes from within. It's an inside job. So here's a practice that we can use when we find ourselves in this space every day when the world is not going the way we think it should. And how many times a day does that happen? It's got 3 simple steps. I'm going to explain them to you. Then later, after the music, we're going to do them in a meditation. So when we're thinking, this should be different, I should be different, you should be different, the circumstance should be different, the first thing, you recognize and catch that thought. Catch yourself thinking, I should be different, you should be different, whatever that thought is that's making you unhappy in that moment, and be willing to let it go. And catch ourselves, allow ourselves to use the affirmation, I'm willing to see this differently. Then part 2, exactly. Be open to your body. Feel what is there under this is really wrong. Is it pain? Is it fear? Is it hurt? Is it anxiety? Be present to it. Do you feel any clutching? Like sometimes we can feel like there's a clutching in our heart, right? or in our gut or in our shoulders. I mean, all of us walk around with our shoulders up like this most of the time. And let it dissolve. We can just say the words, let go, let go. Let life be just as it is. Become aware of the love that is here and sense the stillness. And then the third step is turn to your spiritual heart. Sense love helping you hold what is there. Let it go into loving presence. If there's a pain in your part of your body, just take that painful thing into the space of love. If there's hurt from something another person has said, take that into that space of love. Surrender it into the field of love and rest in that presence. And sometimes we have this thing like a hamster wheel going on, right? So we might have to say, let go, let go, let go. Just help ourselves do it until the idea of this should be different diminishes. And then there's room for creative possibilities to arise. There's room for us to flow with the grace that flows through our hearts, in and through them, flow with the peace. So we'll practice this in just a few minutes. So I wanted to close with a verse from a song by Karen Drucker called Let Go of the Shore. Let go of the shore and let the water carry you. Let go of the shore, float into the mystery. And that's what we're floating into when we decide that life is wrong. We can float into the possibility that maybe something is going on here that we don't understand, and it's okay. You have all you need. It's inside, all inside of you. Close your eyes and breathe and know that you are safe. So if you want to check out that song, you can YouTube Karen Drucker and Let Go of the Shore. So I behold the Christ in you. That is your truth. The clutching, grasping hand is not the truth of your being. You are love. And so it is.
It's time for us to prepare for meditation. Let's take this song into the silence. God of kindness, loving friend, source of comfort without end, you the lover of my soul, touch my heart and make me whole. All is well. All is well. All is well with me. God of kindness, loving friend, source of comfort without end. The bitter winter has passed through. Restore my loss and make me new. All is well.
So let's just take a couple deep breaths into this beautiful space that music has created. Just be present here now. So we're going to allow ourselves to dip into the mystery, and we'll do these 3 steps together. So as if there is a part of your life right now that you're ready to stomp your foot at and say, this is not right, you can use that. If there's just some minor irritation, you can use that. So where is it that there is resistance? I want you to catch and recognize that thought. And what is that thought? Is it, I should be different, you should be different, stop it? Whatever it is. And see if you're willing to invite Spirit in and say, I am willing to see this differently. Now extend this inquiry into your body. Our body is kind of the physical manifestation of a lot of stuff going on in our unconscious. So feel what is there. Is there a constriction? Is there pain? Fear? Hurt? Anxiety? Be present to it. Is there any part of you that is clenching? And just by giving it your attention and acknowledging it, let it dissolve. Whether it's in your heart, your shoulders, in your gut, you say these words, I let go, I let go, I let go. And let life be just as it is. And now take the light of your consciousness and become aware of the love that is here. See if you can sense the stillness in the midst of that love. And so turn to your spiritual heart. Sense love helping you hold what you felt in your body. Let that go into the loving presence. Surrender it into the field of love. Just rest in that presence. You may need to say, let go a few more times. I let go. When we do this, it should open up just some space where life should be different to diminish with this particular thing. And is Spirit speaking anything to you? Just allow yourself to flow with the grace that flows through our hearts. Flow with the peace. If there are tears, flow with the tears. Just know that as you practice this kind of acceptance and of being present to ourselves, our thoughts, our emotions, we create a space for magical, unexpected opportunities to happen. For this change that is happening inside us happens outside of us. And like Claudia's song, we can know all is well. We are so grateful that Spirit rushes to our aid in any of this kind of work. Just the tiniest bit of willingness, Spirit rushes in and allows us to see something differently. And so it is. So before we go to our offering, we have a special guest that came in. And I would like to invite him to come forward. Our dear Corey is here. Oh, he's got. And his wife Heather and their little one, Juniper.
I wanted to come here. I also went to Unity of Richmond, so we're kind of doing the church tour and during the services. But I wanted to thank everybody because I've been a part of Unity for about 12 years, and I've seen Unity come together for its members and its staff and people like that before, and I've gotten help before, but I've never been on the receiving end of so much love and so much. I don't even know. Anyone that doesn't know what's going on, I'm a sound guy here at least one Sunday a month, usually a little more than that. I was in Florida working a little more than 2 weeks ago, and I fell 25 feet from a tree and landed on my butt and bounced 2 feet up in the air. I shattered one vertebrae and fractured another. The vertebrae was pressing on my spine. They were concerned that I would be paralyzed from the waist down. And I attribute it all to, by the way, thank you. Your talk led into this perfectly. It's almost like we planned something or something and we didn't. But staying in that positive mindset, staying in the flow, staying in the positive thought process. It was Saturday. I went to the hospital at 4 or 5 in the afternoon with a broken spine, and you know that it's serious when you have 9 doctors around your bed and you don't know why. And Tuesday they did surgery while I was in Florida, in Orlando. They released me from the hospital Friday, the last day I was in the hospital. My surgeon's partner came in, practice partner, came in and said, I wanted to meet the person that's done what I've never seen happen before. He said, the achievements you've made in 2 days after surgery are greater than anyone I've ever had 2 weeks out of surgery. I did a few stairs. I walked laps around the floor they had me on, and then I got into the passenger seat of my own car, which, let me tell you, is kind of humbling when you're barely able to move and you've got to depend on friends and family to drive you back. My daughter flew out there and helped drive me back and made it back here in about 2 days. And I can't even go home because my house has so many stairs and I can't do the stairs. But you guys, the support of our Unity communities here in Richmond, between Bon Air and Unity of Richmond, there has been an Amazon list that you guys have bought diapers and wipes and all the things that we need to stay afloat. And you guys have donated funds which have helped us pay the bills. And this sounds like the stupidest thing. I was able to get a adjustable bed foundation so that I can get out of bed, because I wasn't able to get out of bed without someone getting me out of bed. And that got installed yesterday in my friend's house that I'm staying at. And I just want to thank you guys, and really what it boils down to, everything that she was talking about is just staying in the heart of gratitude and of appreciation and of love, because when you're in that space, there's not room for fear. There's not room for doubt. There's not room for those kinds of problems. Right, Juju? Right. And I know my wife wanted to say a few things, and I hogged the mic at the last Unity Church, so I'm going to be fair this time and give her a chance. So, oh, and my breaking my back saved my marriage, so you know.
So I primarily go to Unity Richmond, and it was so incredible that the very first donation came from somebody here that were Facebook friends, but we've never met. Is Amy Fulcher Davis here? Okay, give her a big hug for me, because she reached out and we got a Costco shipment like same day, that Monday, and that just really, that morning just really boosted me, like the morning of Halloween, and that carried me through the entire week. So it's just incredible. And I have to say this, after the surgery, I think your mom was there and the surgeons came in and they're like, wow, we went in and it actually looked better than ever. And his mom made the mention that there's a lot of people, like so many people praying. And the surgeon said, we know we don't do this alone. And that was so cool because they're so humbled. And it's been really hard. I'm not gonna lie, it's been really hard. I couldn't go down. And he's dealing with physical stuff, but obviously everyone around is affected. And we're making some really big decisions and changes in our life. And so continue to keep us in your thoughts. Please continue to send positive love our way. We feel it so deeply. And I may not know any of you personally because this is not my main church, but we're a family. And I just want to thank you for loving on us. And Patty, thank you for reaching out. I've known you for a while. Just thank you. And I love that our churches are so connected now, better than they ever have before, because Val is over there hanging out with us. And it's just a really good feeling to be part of a community that's actually walking the talk. And so thank you so much for being part of that for us. And I just wanted to extend further gratitude. Thank you.
So let's give them, rub your hands together, give them some really good juice here. Heather, Corey, and Juniper, we love you. We bless you. We appreciate you. And we behold the Christ you are. And we see you doing amazing things.
Hello. And lastly, I just wanted to say, I'm not trying to say thank you and then run, but because of my back, it's kind of overwhelming for me. So feel free, text, email. They have my information. I don't care who they give it out to. I really appreciate all the love and thoughts and prayers, but we're going to head out so that it doesn't get to be too much for me. So thank y'all.
Thank you all for coming. Okay, if our ushers will make their way up. And I invite you to hold your offering in your hands. We say our blessing, divine love as me blesses and multiplies all that I am, all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive. Thank you, God, for the joy of giving and receiving.
So another song that fits in with what just happened beautifully. Is this the tempo?
If you ever find yourself stuck in the middle of the sea, I'll sail the world to find you. If you ever find yourself lost in the dark and you can't see, I'll be the light to guide you. We find out what we're made of when we are called to help our friends in need. You can count on me like 1, 2, 3, I'll be there. And I know when I need it, I can count on you like 4, 3, 2, you'll be there. 'Cause that's what friends are supposed to do, oh yeah. Ooh, 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 yeah, yeah. If you're tossing and you're turning and you just can't fall asleep, I'll sing a song beside you. And if you ever forget how much you really mean to me, every day I will remind you. We find out what we're made of when we are called to help our friends in need. You can count on me like 1, 2, 3, I'll be there. And I know when I need it, I can count on you like 4, 3, 2, you'll be there. 'Cause that's what friends are supposed to do, oh yeah. Ooh, 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 yeah, yeah. You'll always have my shoulder when you cry. I'll never let go, never say goodbye. You can count on me like 1, 2, 3, I'll be there. And I know when I need it, I can count on you like 4, 3, 2, you'll be there. 'Cause that's what friends are supposed to do, oh yeah. Ooh, 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 yeah, yeah. Ooh, 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 ooh. You can count on me 'cause I can count on you.
Thank you all. We're going to have our offerings come forward, and Mike is coming forward with our tithing checks. You want to go to that, Mike? Mike at the mic. And share who we're tithing to?
Yes, so as you guys know, the money that we all give, we turn around and the board designates recipients. We tithe at least 10% of the money that we all give to other organizations. And I want to mention Zeta again. Zeta is the one that sort of pushed the board to really focus on local groups, so we do. In addition to the unity groups, we tithe to. We also tithe local organizations. So anyhow, I'll make a quick read through of the checks that we're giving. Vessels of Mercy, Richmond Boys Choir, Restoration Fellowship. Susan mentioned them as a volunteer opportunity. We met with their leadership team, members of the board, what was it, 3 weeks ago? 2 weeks ago, thank you, at we had a nice little unity gathering, meditation, and then a potluck with their leadership group. I came away really thoughtfully impressed with them. Anyhow, little side there. Feed More, Eastern Unity, Unity Worldwide, Unity World Headquarters, Unity Urban Ministry, Silent Unity, Richmond Hill, Chesterfield County Food Bank, Crossover Ministries, Unity Worldwide Spiritual Institute, and Unity Worldwide Ministries. Those are our ties to the world. So thank you all for what you do and giving, because it matters. Thank you.
So let us bless all these. We know the gift and the giver are one. We know that as we send these goodies out into the world, lives are changed, hearts are touched, and transformation happens. And we say, thank you, Spirit. And so it is. And so we have something. We acknowledge our Unity Prayer Chaplains. If you would like to stand or raise your hand, here are folks that would love to say a prayer with you, say a prayer of gratitude, a prayer of concern, and send you on your way into the week with confidence and knowing that love is on it. And our next thing, the service is now ended, and our ministry of love continues. And now let's stand for our prayer for protection. The light of God surrounds us. The love of God enfolds us. The power of God protects us. The presence of God watches over us. Wherever we are, God is, and all is well.